Eddie Roche narrowly ahead in first opinion poll of the presidential election. Dana still confident despite uncertainty over county council nominations. And at the Curragh, Oscar Schindler wins his second St. Leger. A very good evening. In the first opinion poll on the presidential election, the Labour-nominated candidate Eddie Roche has a narrow lead over Fianna Fáil's Mary McAleese. But the IMS survey in the Sunday Independent shows Fine Gael's Mary Bonotti and former Eurovision winner Dana Rosemary Scallon well behind. With the latest details, here's our political editor, Donal Kelly.
65% of voters say they're likely to turn out in the presidential election at the end of October. But even at this early stage of the campaign, they're already making clear choices, according to this Sunday Independent poll. Offered a sample ballot paper with the 4 candidates so far, voters' first preferences were Eddie Roche, the Labour nominee, 38%, Mary McAleese, Fianna Fáil, 35%, Mary Bonotti, Fine Gael, 18%, and the independent candidate Dana, 9%. The pollsters then eliminated the 2 lowest candidates. The subsequent vote transfers gave Eddie Roche 51%, closely followed by Mary McAleese at 49%. Although polling day is 6 weeks away, this IMS survey does show that Mary Bonotti and Dana have a lot of work to do to catch Eddie Roche and Mary McAleese, who are already well ahead in a neck-and-neck race. However, in the context of the coming campaign, Fianna Fáil will be happy with the poll's findings that Professor McAleese is regarded by voters as the best qualified candidate for the presidency, 10 points ahead of Eddie Roche. The poll also brings good news for the Fianna Fáil PD coalition. Support for the parties as of this week is Fianna Fáil 48% up 2, Fine Gael 27% up 3, Labour 12% unchanged, the Progressive Democrats at 3% are also unchanged. The Greens at 4% are up 1. Democratic Left are unchanged at 2%. Sinn Féin are 2% down 1. And others at 2% are down 4. This poll indicates the new coalition's honeymoon is still continuing, with 2 out of 3 voters satisfied with the government and nearly 3/4 happy with Bertie Ahern's Taoiseach. But on the downside, 7 out of 10 people don't accept Ray Burke's Dáil explanation about the £30,000 paid to him by a builder. They think the issue should have gone to the new tribunal.
The General Council of the Progressive Democrats has agreed to invite the Fianna Fáil presidential election candidate Mary McAleese to address a meeting of their parliamentary party next Wednesday. The decision was announced after a 3-hour meeting this evening by the Taoiseach Mary Harney, who said the party would be asking Mary McAleese to contest the election as a government candidate.
Over 100 PD delegates from all over the country came to Portlaoise to make the decision the party's 8 Oireachtas members had failed to make at a meeting last Wednesday. Mary Harney has already said she would have preferred if Des O'Malley had agreed to contest the election on behalf of the PDs. But as delegates arrived, they spoke of their own options.
I will be touting for Mary McAleese, and I'll be trying to persuade my fellow members of the party to do likewise and to support her.
Yeah, and I would think that Mary McAleese is the best candidate, but I think we'll let it up to the meeting to decide, because an open vote might be the thing, you know.
The PD leader was joined by Des O'Malley and 2 of the party's senators, Helen Keogh and Martin Gibbons. It had been expected the group would make a decision on who to support in the presidential election within an hour. But as the meeting dragged on, it emerged that a division of opinions had become clear between those seeking the support for Mary McAleese and others calling for an open vote. 3 hours later, the Taoiseach emerged to confirm the outcome.
What we've decided is that we will invite Professor Mary McAleese to come to the next parliamentary party meeting to explore with her the possibility of her becoming a candidate for both government parties. We would not be anxious to endorse the candidacy of any other party's candidate, but what we are interested in doing is exploring with her the possibility of her being a government candidate.
Meanwhile, Dana Rosemary Scallon has said she believes her nomination for the presidency will stand despite doubts about the validity of 2 of the county council motions putting her forward for election. County councillors in both Wicklow and Tipperary have indicated they'll seek special meetings next week to rectify the situation. Fianna Fáil says it won't impose a whip on its councillors despite its decision last night to block the nomination of the founder of Victim Support, Derek Nally.
All kinds of everything would appear to be an apt motto for this presidential campaign. Certainly every day seems to turn up a surprise. Last week Dana celebrated the decisions of 5 councils to nominate her. Today it looked like at least 2 of those nominations may be invalid. It's emerged that in Tipperary North Riding, insufficient notice was given of the meeting which nominated her. And in Wicklow it's transpired that Dana's name wasn't actually mentioned in the motion. According to one councillor, the Wicklow motion was rushed through in 3 minutes by a quarter of the council. He predicts a stormy meeting if one is called to rectify the situation, with no guarantees for Dana.
Certainly I wouldn't like to see Dana being, as you say, removed from the race. But if that is the consequence, it is a consequence of her own supporters making an effective cock-up of their motion. And certainly that is something that neither I nor any of the political parties had any hand act or part in.
But this afternoon in Galway, Dana said she was confident that what she called this technical glitch would be resolved.
We've already had calls from councils saying that they'll meet again. In the face of anything, they'll meet again. And other councils saying that we haven't even been to yet, that they will meet again. You know, we mustn't underestimate the integrity and honesty and courage of the men and women of this country.
Nominations close next Friday. Councillors must give 3 days' notice if they wish to hold fresh meetings. Last week, several Fianna Fáil councillors voted for Dana around the country. But yesterday, Fianna Fáil imposed the party whip in Galway to prevent the nomination of Victim Support founder Derek Nally, saying it now had its own candidate in the field. This morning, the party said it would have to review any new Dana nomination for the same reason. But by this afternoon, Fianna Fáil said it would not stand in Dana's way, with one source suggesting that they would be glad of her transfers.